my name is Noble Smith, and I'm the narrative designer on Killer Instinct.
And I'm Adam Eisgreen. I'm the creative director for Killer Instinct.
When I first came on board about a year ago, we would just start talking about how we wanted to make these characters come to life even more. Because the characters were incredible, but we wanted to bring in like this rich backstory. And I remember the moment in your office when we were talking, I don't know, like 8 months ago or something, where you were like, what if it's Khan Ra who brings Idol back to life?
The Shadow Lords mode, obviously you're going around collecting all these artifacts, and Khan Ra's the broker, right?
Yes,
Taking
he's
all
the
of this-
Emporium
Yeah, he's the
guy.
Emporium. He's
And
our-
that was, we wanted to do something like a Japanese...
That was an homage to Japanese games.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's take the best character that we've got that's all about dealing in artifacts anyway.
Yes.
He just stole them all before. And let's make him the guy that you're buying and selling from, right?
Yes.
How great will this be?
You make a fine specimen.
You know, even in the Shadow Lords tests that we're doing right now, before the mode's released, we've got people that are like, I don't trust Conrad. I don't trust this guy.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
You shouldn't, right? Like, I'm giving him all this stuff, and I don't know what he's doing with it.
Yeah.
We've gotten this actual feedback from user research,
Right,
right?
right.
As people are playing, and I love that,
I
right?
do too. I think it's hilarious because he is taking all the stuff you're giving him, those astral gems, and he's going to reanimate Idol.
That's exactly right.
One of the other funny things about Idol was when I was doing the in-game dialogue, I was like, what should he say? And we were like, nothing. He says one thing,
Right.
which is when he's resurrected by Khan Ra
Yes.
in the cinematic, and that is
I serve no one.
no one. But
that's
everything else is
Yeah, because, you know, we wanted that wonderful contrast between, you know, if we look at the Shadow Lords, right, we want them all to represent things that are very kind of iconic. And so Gargos is our thinker.
He's like
right?
Tim
He's
Curry from
Legend.
yes,
Right?
exactly.
Exactly. He's super arrogant, like, can go
Right.
between being calculated and cool and completely
And
rage
just
filled.
blind mad
Yeah,
rage.
mad rage. But we wanted Idol to always represent, like, unchecked id,
He's
right?
just straight up
Just
it.
desires, just manifest. You know, everyone, even on the forums, has been speculating always that if we brought back Idol, that it would be some tool of Arya's. And like, hell no! Arya hates all of these things.
Yes, she is
Right?
the shepherd of humanity.
Right.
That was her original
like,
program.
Aliens die. Like, ghosts, get out of here. Werewolves die.
The first character that was a new character that I actually saw when I started working on this was Hisako. It was still concept stuff, but it was pretty far along. And I remember thinking, my God, this character is so cool. What is her story?
My original idea was all about, like, she had the power to generate shadows, and then she could, like, totally inhabit them. And this kind of ran us onto this whole train of what cultures really embody something that could be really fun to kind of play off those ideas. And as we looked at, like, all of the Japanese lore behind ghosts and spirits, and then looked at how they'd been modernized, we kind of saw a great opportunity to bring this character into something that would be modern and fun in Killer Instinct. I wrote her original backstory before we did the extended one, right? And just kind of based it around the idea of making this really powerful spirit trapped in this girl's body, essentially, that, you know, just wants to rest and just wanted to be at peace, but no, stuff keeps happening that's, you know, drawing her out of that.
その数はさらに増し、ありとあらゆるものを奪い、墓場さえも荒らした。
In a thing like a fighting game where you don't have a lot of avenues to tell story, you want to make sure that everything you tell actually has some meaning into the larger narrative of the game, right?
Yes, definitely.
So we get to something like, you know, look at Mira, for example. When we got to Mira, and we're like, okay, Mira's part of this Siberian coven of vampires.
But who was she before that?
Right.
I've been looking forward to this reunion, sister.
You and I are super detail conscious. So when we were working on the in-game dialogue, she has this line where she conjures the bats. And that's in Russian because she was in
The
the
coven.
Siberian coven. But she also says some things in Portuguese.
Which is her native language. And I think that that's, you know, one of the important things that we're trying to do with Killer Instinct, right, is make sure that we're actually authentic.
Yes.
This is why Sarah's speaking in Thai.
Vinditon rapsuet concha.
We have Thunder speaking in his native language. We have, you know, Hisako speaking nothing but Japanese.
In the novella, Mira says something in Portuguese, but it's in Brazilian Portuguese
Yep.
slang, and I made sure to find that. And it was really satisfying for me to read one of the forums recently because somebody pointed out, I come from Brazil. I think it's so amazing that these guys did their research so well that they actually used Brazilian Portuguese slang.
So let's talk about the lore and the world. Why is it so important that we've grounded our game in a semi-plausible world?
I think it goes back to like Star Wars. The thing that struck me when I first saw Star Wars in the theater was how dirty everything was.
Yeah, the rebellion was intentionally worn down, right?
Yeah.
They were worn. They'd been through stuff.
And the Millennium Falcon was just all kludged together. And
Yep.
so I was like, whoa, this is real. This feels real. And that's what we have to do as writers
Mhm.
and creative people is draw on the real, change it, mix it up. That's what makes it resonate with people. For me, it's relatability to the characters, like Hisako, her Naginata, and the clothing that she's wearing, the pattern on the silk robe, the prayer beads that she has.
Right.
They're drawing on the real world to create a trope character.
Exactly. I'm always fond of saying I like a little fantasy in my reality,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that applies here. I like a little bit of reality in my fantasy. as
That's a
well.
great way to say it.
Right.
You and I are always getting stuff edited.
Yeah.
For our whole
Yeah,
careers.
totally.
We've been writing stuff and somebody edits it,
Yeah.
gives us notes, and sometimes they're really stupid, especially if they're like notes from a company. So I had this idea to create the manual for
Right.
Stalker Unit,
Right.
the unboxing manual,
Right. The quick start guide.
quick start guide.
Yeah.
You started to do notes, I think, and then you were like, what if the notes are actually from the lawyer?
And it was funny because they all started as actual things in the lore. Like we
Right.
talked about something with Dr. Aaron Gupte, right? Who's the one who she originally brought back to
Yes,
Retro
yes.
Units. And then I'm like, well, I don't know if we want to go into this right now in the blah because of this.
I kept those
Yeah,
in.
no, you did. They're verbatim.
Like they're the notes
so
from
great.
the lawyer, and
But I think that's the wonderful thing we've had with Ultratech, right? Is because Ultratech is this mega ridiculous corporation that
Yes.
has all of this power, but yet we want a world where they actually function. They're not just some like twisty mustache villain.
Medical miracles. Crop genetics. Top 40 entertainment. Ultratech provides all of this and more.
and they have to be a bunch of bureaucrats.
Yes, that too, right?
So,
that they're just encased in it.
and that's why Ultratech is such a great kind of villainous organization.
Exactly. We're trying to make a world that's got enough that you can relate to it, that you can put things in context so you understand that these people exist in a world where, like, yes, there is still holidays and people still go on vacations and there is still problems going on in the world, and this is just part of that.
Totally, and we're working on all of that. The story of these cultists who kind of arise out of the, that maybe Gargos has been infusing them with his mind control.
Well, Gargos is never going to be truly defeated, right?
Right. Maybe there's going to be a new Gargos.
Maybe, or maybe other Shadow Lords, or maybe some of the Light Lords, actually.
Oh, yeah.
So what are we going to do in the future, narrative-wise? What can people expect from Killer Instinct going into the future in terms of narrative?
Wow. Well, I think if people like the novella, I think we'll keep doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Keep adding, making it bigger and bigger, and eventually it could become a novel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
And I love the idea of what happens after Shadow Lords.
Yeah.
We've had the story of this alliance coming together and working together to defeat Gargos. What happens if they win? Or what happens if they lose?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a whole multiverse thing going.
Oh, yeah, and we're going to have to make that decision, right?
Yeah.
When it comes down to canon. What actually happens?
What is the end?
I mean, that's the thing, I think, for me, is just we've created this really wonderful world of Killer Instinct, and I just want to see it go forward and become greater and greater in terms of the love for the characters and the world that we're trying to
Right.